Welcome to Her Liberation. I'm your host, Ann Anderson, and this show is for anyone who wants to improve your health, well-being, and have a better quality of life. Her Liberation provides tools and strategies and a safe, no-judgment space for healing to take place. My team and I will be bringing on guests who are experts in all areas of personal self-development and more to help you to shift where you need to in your lives and to meet your individual goals and needs. Again, welcome to Liberation, Conversations with Ann Anderson, starting right now. Welcome today on Her Liberation, Conversations with Ann Anderson. I am so excited to have my guest here today, Miss Lisa Stroud. She was named by Rolling Out magazine as the future Oprah of sports and entertainment. She's been in radio and television for over 30 years, over 15 years as an event manager with celebrity events, and currently a television and radio talk show host for What is Justice. Thank you today for being here with me, Ms. Stroud.
How are you? I'm well. How are you?
I'm very well, too.
Good.
Wow, you have had such a long, incredibly impressive career. How did that come about? Tell us your journey.
Well, when I was younger, my father took me to a radio station in my home state of Louisiana. And I want to say 5 years old, I fell in love with radio. Fast forward, I got out of college and had my first radio job in my home state again in Louisiana. And just from there, I just grew. Started in radio, then eventually got into television. And as you know, just one thing led to another. And we are 30 years later.
Wow, that is it's so exciting. So how was it being a celebrity event planner? How did that come about?
I kind of fell into celebrity event planning. I was in New Orleans and working with some of the New Orleans Saints. And so they used to ask me, hey, can you do my birthday party? And so I was like, okay. And one thing led to another. So from birthday parties turned into galas, turned into celebrity fashion shows. And it was so exciting. And again, 15 years later.
Wow.
Absolutely.
Any juicy stories that you can tell us about?
I will say it's best to know celebrities sometimes for just being celebrities.
Wow.
Because sometimes it can be a little challenging.
Okay.
Yeah, we have some divas and divos. Absolutely.
Okay. And tell us about your production company, M3Me, and how did that come about?
So M3Me, I have 3 sons,
okay.
All with the name of M.
Okay.
And as a single mother, I wanted to do something and kind of pay homage to our family in creating M3Me. And M3Me, I do most of my celebrity events or my TV productions under that title.
And any that just stand out that you were more excited to do or very passionate about than any other?
Sure. I did an event in Atlanta a few years ago, and I honored several celebrities, Danny Glover being one of them. Okay. And I had the Jacksons perform. Now that was memorable. Of course, without Michael, but that was definitely memorable to watch them. Took me back to my childhood.
Okay, yeah, I was just about to ask you what Michael.
Are you kidding? I want you back, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So it definitely took me back. So that was probably one of the high notes, of my career.
Okay. And the fundraiser with President Obama in 2007, that must have been
surreal.
Oh, yeah.
Surreal. So again, I was planning a family event in Dallas, and I heard him speak as a senator.
Okay.
And he was phenomenal. So I was like, I want him. And so everybody's like, come on, the man's running for president. So I must have called maybe 500 times.
Wow.
To get him. And when that final day came and they said, hey, are you still interested? And I was like, absolutely. And fast forward, we went from him being able to work with me at the convention center to, look, can you do a barbecue at your home? I was in the process of moving into my home. So I was like, I don't know. And so everyone's like, are you kidding me? let's stage your house and let's make this happen. And got some hay, threw it in the backyard, 300 guests. And when he walked in the door, unbelievable.
Wow.
Unbelievable. One of the nicest men you ever meet. And I think for my kids, for my son's sake, so one of the things he asked my son, he was like, where do you want to go to school? Mm-hmm. And my son said Stanford. And so President Obama said, yeah, no. So he went on to talk about Harvard and his wife going to Princeton. And I will say that my oldest son did follow that advice, and he went and graduated from Princeton.
Wow, that's amazing.
Absolutely.
That's amazing. No Michelle? Are you kidding me?
No Michelle, no Michelle, but I'm hoping to turn, that's coming soon, so hopefully.
Okay.
Absolutely, but wonderful family.
Wow, what an exciting career you've had. That is amazing.
Thank you, thank you.
Wow. And I love your motto, nothing is impossible. You just have to keep believing and dreaming to achieve. What was it that instilled that type of, for you to say something like that, to frame this as your motto for, I assume, for life as well as business?
Sure. When you have to motivate yourself. Mm-hmm. When I was younger, in a small town in Louisiana, I didn't see people like me dreaming like this. And I had to talk to myself a lot. And then, people are like, okay, what are you talking about? You want to go where? You want to do what? Mm-hmm. Just go to school, the tell, get a job, be a productive citizen. That's what I heard.
Right.
But I knew there was something in me deeper, and I wanted something so much more. And after I got into radio and one thing led to another, I just saw it could be endless.
Okay.
And so now I really encourage myself.
Okay.
And that's how I've raised my sons to be.
And so you would say that this motto has actually guided your career, your personal life,
Absolutely.
And everything that you've done.
Bad days, good days. You have to look at yourself and say, okay. It's like really look in the mirror and say, okay, what are we going to do today?
Okay.
No dream is just, it's a step away.
And where do you think that comes from? Is that spiritual or has to do with your faith? Or where would you think that?
Both.
Both,
absolutely. My pastor a long time ago gave me a mustard seed. Okay. And he said, Lisa, look at faith. Look at this mustard seed. Mm-hmm. And I never saw a mustard seed. And when you look at it, you're like, oh my gosh, this is tiny.
Yes, yes.
So when you think about having that type of faith, I literally walked away from radio jobs and said, okay, with kids, and said, okay, God, this is not where I'm supposed to be.
Okay. Wow.
So I'm just going to go home and figure it out. And, people are like, what are you doing? You're a mom. Faith.
Wow. That takes a lot.
Absolutely.
Yeah, a lot of faith.
Absolutely.
Wow. Well, I want to transition into what you're doing now, your new show, What is Justice, when we come back.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Hi. Meet Ann Anderson, aka Coach Ann. She is an Amazon #1 best-selling author, speaker and certified transformational life coach. A part of 5 anthologies, featured in Online Magazine, Headlines News, and also featured in Louisiana's Leading Ladies. She has participated in numerous interviews and podcasts. She is the CEO and founder of Butterfly Uprising LLC and Unstoppable Women's Network Group. It helps women to change their lives inside and out and from head to toe by letting go of their past using simple techniques that have powerful results. So that you can break free from self-critical thinking, control your thoughts and feelings, master your emotions, achieve your ideal body, find the confidence to reach your highest potential, design the life of your dreams and to maximize all of your life experiences to become unstoppable. Services offered: on-site seminars, executive coaching, individual and group coaching, keynote speaker and online workshops. Visit her Amazon.com to purchase her book, Butterfly Uprising. For more information, please visit her website, andanderson.com, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn and Facebook. Email, coach.annanderson@gmail.com for her free ebook, or at 318-262-0245.
Thank you.
So tell me exactly what is Justice television and radio show all about, though? I know that we get to look into it a little bit looking at the commercial, but can you give me some more details?
Sure. So What is Justice is a 60-minute show that we're launching in a few weeks.
Okay.
And it's basically about injustice in this country, whether it's racism, genderism, you name it. And so we're going to dive deep into the details. We're going to interview families. We're going to interview attorneys and just really have a one-on-one conversation and just ask the questions, why, or did you know? I mean, there are questions out there that we had no idea about. For instance, in Minnesota, did we know that there was something that should be hanging from your rearview mirror that was against the law? And so these are things that we're going to visit and say, well, wow, who knew? There are many laws in the states that we have no idea about, that we need to figure out, bring to fruition. Let's discuss it. Let's figure out what we can do as a country, as a community, to say, okay, it's a touchy topic, but I'm a mother of 3 sons.
Okay.
When I decided to do this, I didn't want to do another interview about celebrities or parties. I just think our world has transitioned so much from everything that's gone on. And as a mom, and I worry quite a bit, I thought it was time to do something different. And so I created What is Justice?
Okay. Wow. So you would say that you were inspired to do that based on your sons and just what you see going on in that present climate.
Oh,
as far as
absolutely.
police
Absolutely.
brutality.
To have a son, and one of my things, unfortunately, is if one of them call me after 7, the first thing I say is, what's wrong? And as a mother, that is not the first thing you want to say. But given everything that's going on in our country, it's not the fact that they're educated. It's not the fact that, oh my gosh, I raised them to be this way. Unfortunately, people are getting pulled over just because. And for that is why What is Justice? We need this. We need this in this time.
All right. And so are there any particular injustices that you are planning to feature on your show as of in the next few weeks? What are you going to...
So yes, we're going to really dive into family. I'm going to be meeting with a family in Texas whose son died in a facility under the care of the police. And now they have said it's homicide.
Okay.
So I'm going to sit down with the family and just talk about that feeling. I mean, it's one thing you catch it on 2 minutes on television, on your news, but it's another when we could visit and hear about, he could have been an amazing man. I want people to know another side besides what they see on television. I want people to look at this and say, oh, he's a human. I'm not saying everyone's perfect, but I am saying we are humans. And let's revisit, let's talk about this. And so I have many cases like that. And we'll dive into, again, talking about some past issues that we've seen nationally on the news. So we'll cover national stories. We'll cover stories that have been covered up.
Okay.
But we're definitely going to dive in.
It's like George Floyd.
Absolutely.
Right.
We'll love to sit down with his family. Botham Jean, right here in Texas. We'll love to sit down with his attorney and just really talk in family. And just say, hey, and just really walk through that. Just really have that moment, not just what you see on television. Because I've had many conversations with people. It's like, oh, wrong place, wrong time. Things happen. I've heard and it's like, no one should have to die like that.
Right.
And so that's where my passion kind of comes in.
Okay. And how about support? Have you gotten any opposition or pushback from wanting to do this?
Absolutely. What are you doing? From all races. What are you doing? Why are you doing this? You need to be careful. And it's like, really, if we all turn a blind eye to the situation, then what? I get stories every day from all over the world. Something as small as a young woman who they're saying hung herself and not adding up. So these are conversations that we need to talk about. And let's figure out as a community what we can do. Because I think that we're not talking enough. We're not doing enough as a community. Mm-hmm. And a community is black, it's brown, it's green, it's orange, it's white, it's every color. And so I'm bringing everyone together at the table to say, let's discuss.
And what these injustices have to do with all cultures, races,
all cultures,
brown and
Asian, absolutely. Okay. I mean, I just got a story the other day on a transgender being beaten to death. Whoa. I don't quite understand that, but I definitely want to talk to that victim. Right. Is that really justice to say, because I'm different, I should be beaten?
No. Mm-mm.
And so these are topics. So yes, I've definitely had to push back. Wow. But which makes me want to do it even more.
Even more.
Absolutely.
Good for you.
Thank you.
I, for one, am happy that you're doing this. I have a son as well, so I'm a mother, and I definitely can relate to your passion about the injustices against our boys.
Absolutely.
Of course.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
All right. We'll be right back.
Today on Her Liberation, conversations with Ann Anderson, best-selling author, certified transformational life coach, TV producer, and TV talk show host. Over the next few seasons, myself and many other experts will be bringing you conversations around confidence, femininity, beauty, success, transformation, healthy living, self-love, abundance, fitness, happiness, joy, sisterhood, empowerment, and resilience. What is resilience? It's your bounce back muscle. It's that ineffable quality that allows some people to be knocked down by life and come back stronger than ever. Rather than letting failure or disappointment overcome them and drain their resolve, they find a way to rise from the ashes. If you love an epiphany as much as I do, then get ready for a half-hour chock full of them all season. I wanted to create a show where on Tuesdays we could have conversations that disrupt, that were thought-provoking, inspiring, and eye-opening. A show that would be nourishment for your very souls and minds. This is Her Liberation. Conversations with Ann Anderson, starting right now.
So Lisa, tell me, how do your children and family feel about the stance that you've taken?
When I decided to sit my 3 sons down. That's first and foremost, because they're all like dads at this point. It's like role reversals.
I get that.
Their first thing was, Mom, why? But then if they start thinking about the many situations we have been in as a whole. We've been stopped. All 3 have been stopped. I have been stopped. We have gone to restaurants where someone didn't want to sit with us, near us, because of the color of our skin. And again, why? So when they did say why, then I reminded them, well, look, do you remember when? And so my oldest son said, well, Mom, look, you got to be careful. But this is awesome. So I will say they've been really supportive. I didn't want to tell my extended family too much because, again, that's the first thing everyone would say is, what are you doing? You're crazy. But when I explain why and what we're going, every time you turn on the television, at this point you could say, well, why not? And I think that's the thing I would want people, like, why wouldn't you? I think you have people who would just sit back and take a look and say, oh, look at this. But I'm not that person. I want to look and say, okay, let's jump in. What can we do? Where can we go? And anyone that knows me knows that's just kind of how I am. And so it's been like, again, give and take. My mother was the last one I had to tell.
Oh, okay.
And as a mom, she was worried. But as a grandmother of 3 sons, grandsons, she's always saying to them, put your hands on the wheels. And so she understood. And so I was surprised by her because once she was like, Lisa, why? And she, she's like, well, hold on. It makes sense.
Okay.
Yes.
And friends, how do they feel?
Right there supporting. What can we do? Now I have friends of other races that said, if they would only just behave. And you're like, okay. And that's where education comes in. And that is what I mean when we have to sit down and we have to talk about it. Because it's not if someone behaves.
Okay.
And I think digging and diving deeper into a situation would educate, as well as to say what we can do, again, as a community.
And would you say that's what Is Justice is all about? Is about educating the public and informing them and letting them know so possibly some of these situations won't keep occurring.
Absolutely. As you said yourself, you have a son. And as you talk to him, I don't know the words you may say to him after seeing television.
Oh, I've had to have the talk with my son.
Okay.
And, and that's the thing, we have to have the talk.
Yes.
Who else does that?
And that's what I said to my friends of other races. Your conversation with your son is totally different than the conversation I have with mine. If both of our sons were speeding down the road, they got a glimpse at your son, they got a glimpse at my son, they're going after my son first. And they really couldn't understand that. They did not believe that.
Wow.
And that is why we have What is Justice.
Awesome. So what is, after even, that was very good, but what is your takeaway that you want the radio and TV audience to get out of watching and listening to What is Justice?
I want people to be educated. I want my own race to be educated. Is it the answers to bully or set fires? Or let's talk about it. Why are we doing that? I know we're angry. I want other races to say, oh, I didn't know that. I thought this, but what I saw on the news, I want our show to be where people say, oh, okay, I get it now. I understand it now. Whatever race it is, I understand it now. What can I do? So we're setting that up where people can call in or email us and say, hey, what can we do? I would love to bring, viewers on, hey, come on.
And have those uncomfortable.
And it's uncomfortable.
Conversations.
But let's be uncomfortable.
Right.
I think it's time to get uncomfortable.
Amen. I agree with you.
Yeah.
100%.
Absolutely.
So, Ms. Lisa, what is justice to you? How do you define it?
Equality.
Okay.
Education. It's different for me now than it was 20 years ago.
How so?
When I was coming up and I was the only person of color on my cheerleader squad, I went through some things then. And back then you're like, oh, okay. But we're talking 30 years later and we're still uneducated. And we're still uneducated. At this point, there's something that I had to do about it. So I want to educate. So to me, that is justice.
Okay. Thank you so much. And how is it that we can support What is Justice, the show? As a people, I know that you've already stated that you believe that we all need to be more educated and
Absolutely.
we need to stop sitting on the sidelines.
Absolutely.
Is there anything else that we can do to help support ourselves?
Let's vote.
And you?
Let's
Okay.
vote. Let's get
Right.
out there and vote. Let's make our voices heard in a peaceful way.
Yes.
It can be peaceful yet powerful.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when you see something, say something. When you see something, say something.
Say something. When you see something, say something.
Absolutely.
Wow. Well, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you
and
for
thank
having
you
me.
so very much for what you're doing. I am
Thank you.
so elated that you have taken it upon yourself to be a voice for our children and
Thank
all
you.
people who are experiencing injustices in the world. Thank you so much. And I am praying that this show be a success and
Thank
that
you.
everybody will tune in and watch.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
You're so welcome. It's been my pleasure.
Absolutely.
How is it that we can get in touch with you? How is it that we can view or keep up with or see What is Justice?
We're going to be on all social media platforms.
Okay.
You will be able to see What is Justice. If you look at us, you can definitely find us local channels.
Okay.
We'll definitely be marketing through all of our social media where we're airing locally.
All right. So that's Facebook, Instagram,
YouTube.
Okay. All
Absolutely.
of that.
All
right.
of that.
Thank you
Twitter
so very
as
much.
well.
Twitter as well.
Absolutely.
And LinkedIn.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Okay. Well, we will be watching and
Thank you.
listening. And thank you so much again
Sure.
for coming on the show and telling us what is justice.
Thank you so much.